Now, let's go ahead and go for the pen tool. Right click, stroke path, and go for brush, say OK. You can see that the brush is actually not oriented towards the line. The solution for that is actually by going to the brush to shape, which is this one, going to shape dynamics, turning it on, and you're going to see angle jitter. Angle jitter generally is set to off. If you set it up to direction, it means wherever you point your hand, it's going to actually give you the direction. You see, when you do this, it's going to move with it. Now this is quite fun. Now if you go to the pen by clicking P, right click, stroke path, and go for brush, you can see that it's now following it up. Quite simple, huh? What if I want to make it dotted in circles? Well, that was the simple thing. Should have said that before. You can actually go there, pick a circle, and there you go. You have a circle. Well, what if I want it to be dotted in circles? Well, same as we said, go to brush, change this distance, spacing. There you go. Again, stroke by this. So what if I want it to be squished? There you go. You have many options. So many options. And you can go for whatever color you want. There you go. Brushes, circles. You can make it bigger, give it a direction, change orientation of it, whatever you want. There are so many options here that I would highly recommend that you check all of these stuff if you're really interested in this software. But this is actually what you need for your own job, for your own work. Now, after you do this, for example, you can just type here and say, let's go for normal text. Crumbled pixels is not exactly what we need. Or you can go for Arial and say, for example, this is wind. Control Enter. Now this is quite big. How do you make it smaller? Well, whenever you are on this text, you can go up here and go for the text size, make it like 72. Fitting. What if I want to scale it up dynamically instead of just going to this? Well, you can just go ahead and click Ctrl T while holding this and changing that. Oops, we're actually holding something different. Let's go for the pen and click Escape. While doing that, go to that and do this. There you go. Ctrl T does this. This is the general idea behind Photoshop. Photoshop is quite a fun software. It's not really something that you should be afraid of, but you should treat it properly. You should know exactly what buttons do what, and just have fun with it. It's not really something big or heavy. Let's create finally something like this. There's no need for heavy things. Let's just go ahead and create this object right there. Click a new layer. Generally, this is just a recap. Just go for Control Delete to fill it up with white. Then for example, you can duplicate this and go inside by holding Alt, Control, and Shift. Now you have two layers. Let's make this layer a bit darker. Let's go for levels, make it a bit darker. Let's say that we want this. Oops. Actually, it's white, pure white, so it's not good to use levels because levels doesn't really work on it so well. Let's go for a bit something like a dark gray. Let's go ahead and click Alt Delete on this layer. Whoops, you don't have any selection. Click Control on that. There you go. You have something like this. Let's make it a bit lighter now with the levels. There you go, something like that. And now we're gonna drop a shadow on the inside of this. Let's go ahead and create something very, very rough. Lock the transparency. Do that. Do this, and go for something darker. Maybe a shadow like that. Click Alt Delete. There you go. We have a shadow now on the inside. Now this is something quite simple. Let's drop a shadow on the outside of this. Let's go ahead and create a new layer, put it right under this layer, and go for for the lasso tool. Click, for example, the shift to make it an angle, then go there, go here, and there. Nope, a bit earlier. So you can see now to cancel a point that you've already created, you can just simply click backspace. Clicking backspace creates that. A bit less. Something like that, a bit more, something like this, and there you go. You can just go ahead and create a back shadow, make it less opaque, something like that. Now if someone says that we want this white to be less white or something, you can just click Control and click on this, change whatever color you want. Let's say for example they want it to be a bit darker, something like that. For example, you can just go ahead and fill it up, and there you go, you have now a different layer. If you hide this background, you can see this, or you can just create a new layer over here and fill it up with white. How do you fill it up with white? As usual, just click Control Delete, it fills up with the background layer. And there you go. You can apply the same concept on over all of these stuff. You can just click this, for example, pick whatever you want. Let's go for contagious. Select all of these greens over here. You can just create Control J. You duplicated this. I want to fill it up with grass. How do you do that? Well, we can actually go ahead and click Control Open on a grass layer. That's a grass texture I downloaded online. This is actually the first texture I saw online. So you can just go ahead, click Edit, define pattern, call it grass, say OK. We can go to this one, double click, pattern overlay, pick the grass, make it a bit smaller, and say OK. There you go, you have grass. Same thing with this. Now we can just go ahead again, click Ctrl J, double click on this, pattern overlay, pick the asphalt, whatever asphalt you have. Let's say this. Let's say this, and go ahead and make this scale smaller. Now what if I want it to be lighter? Well, you can easily either change the opacity, or you can go for levels, or whatever you want to do, but this is actually the general way to do this. Well, I think this is it. I think this is all you need. You can go ahead and add, for example, grass for this. You can just go and click here, click there. You can even just tell it remove contagious, just select all of the green all over, and just go to this one, fill it up with any color you want, and it's gonna add the green all over the map. And that's it. This is all you need from Photoshop. Whatever you need, you can find it online. Anything you can add to this. Maybe in the future we're gonna add a segment that would explain some extra stuff based on your questions if needed, but for now this is exactly what you need. You don't need anything more than that. You can create an image just by a couple of clicks. You can even just go for the easy shadow option if you're doing something quite rough. For example, just click on these orange stuff, duplicate them, give them a drop shadow, and give it a direction, and say for example the distance is like that, and off you go. Say OK. There you go. Quite easy, quite simple.